Okay, I have with me Dave Rudbarg. He's actually a personal friend of mine, and he is actually a relationship coach. He his website is CoachMeDave.com. The reason I'm actually doing this series is that a lot of businesses are suffering from the pandemic now, and basically, I actually want to go out and highlight a lot of these good businesses to get to know them through via interview Zoom, and this way, you the public that are sitting watching your Netflix and YouTube, Facebook can actually benefit from learning from them and hopefully participate with them, given purchasing the service or whatever that they sell. Okay, so Dave, my first question to you is, since you've been in the relationship business for quite a while, how long have you been in it?
Um, I've been doing this full time since 2012.
Wow.
I actually started doing this in 2000.
Okay. Um, how did you actually get started?
Well, I tell you, it's interesting. I mean, I did a lot of actually Benson and I met while participating at a place called Landmark Education.
Yes.
And my interest in coaching started when I was taking seminars and assisting at Landmark. And I discovered that the area of relationship coaching really was something that appealed to me, especially after I did some courses primarily directed at men, and started to really understand that there were basic core differences between men and women that I felt like in the 20 years or so of doing seminars that had not been addressed before.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I got very interested in that. Um, I also discovered that I was actually very insightful when it came to listening to people and seeing where their barriers were and seeing where they weren't being honest about themselves and about the people around them.
Hmm.
So that's how I got started. You know, I got a lot of value out of it.
Do you work with only women, only men,
Um,
couples?
I think for the most, I'll be very honest. I don't work with couples that often because, in my experience, whoever comes over and says, "I want to hire you for my partner because they need help,"
Hmm.
is usually the person who really needs help. You know,
Uh-huh.
and so I'm always suspicious of that. But most of my clients over the years have actually been women.
Okay.
I think they're a lot more open to coaching.
Okay.
Um, but I will tell you that recently, most of my clients have been people who never have been to therapy, never been in any sort of seminars or self help groups or anything like that.
Wow.
So there's a certain freedom I have to interact with them and just to uh, just to say the following is that sometimes, as you know, Benson, when people have done seminars for a long time, they think that just having done the seminars means they know everything and that they are no longer, there's nothing there to change, alter, or address. Those people are actually more difficult
So you should be
because,
charging them more.
huh?
You should be charging them more.
Thank you. I will take that under advisement. But the thing about working with people who've not done this kind of work before is that there's an openness and a wonder and a willingness to address issues. And I think that's, I'm very moved by those people.
Okay. Can you tell me, I guess, one of your latest clients? Give me an example.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, I obviously without,
No names.
yeah, no, not
No. Yeah.
taking confidentiality into
Yes.
account.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one of my latest clients is an older woman um, who has had a number of challenges over the last couple of years. Um, Lost her husband, has had, and again, also I think here's the bottom line is that I think what has made working with her so satisfying is that for the 45 minutes or an hour that we talk
Okay.
every week, she really is the center of my world. She is the center of my attention. And I have to tell you that um, she's so appreciative. She really just, she feels like, oh my God, somebody's actually listening, somebody cares. And that more than anything else, I think is makes a difference because, as I said, she's had a lot of challenges, and just to have somebody not ignore her, to have somebody who wants to support her, is I think I feel very appreciated by her and very honored.
Okay. In your kind of profession, does one need to have any kind of license or be bonded?
No, no. I mean, there are people. There are. Um,
Besides the necessary government one, but otherwise.
yeah, I'm not. I will answer this. I'm not aware of it. I know
Okay.
that there are certain companies that have sprung up
Okay.
and certify coaches and things of that nature, but I have not chosen to go that route.
Okay. So it's optional.
Yes, I would say that would be my take on it. But
Okay.
but to be honest, I don't actually know unequivocally what the answer is, but to the best of my knowledge, no.
Okay. Sounds good. Um, what? Tell me about another issue. I mean, person you helped.
Well, I think one of the other things has been to watch the development of some of the people that I've been coaching for a while.
Okay.
Watch their growth from being very hungry for acceptance and love and attention and wanting that to be the main focus, as opposed to having their personal growth be most important, their enjoyment of life, their appreciation of life, to see them go from being somebody. Here's the other thing. The other thing that's been fascinating to watch how people are functioning during the pandemic, because I think so many people's energy and attention was on how all their focus has been on work and on accomplishing and doing. And when you take that away from them, they're kind of naked. And they're like, well, if I'm not my job, who am I? What do I do now? I think that that's in its own way a wonderful breakdown to have, because it means that you have to let go of any attachment. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Totally makes sense. So how do you currently advertise your business right now?
In all honesty, it's mostly word of mouth. I do also some, I write and I make memes and I post them up and I tag people. I generally speaking, if I've written something or if I find something that I think applies to someone else, I will actually tag them, and I'd say about 99% of the time it fits.
Wow.
It works, and it's something that they appreciate and get back to me on. So and again, it's just word of mouth, being involved in social media, and reinforcing that CoachMeDave is a recognizable brand, and moving from there, and reputation also.
Okay.
I think that's important.
What is it that gets you up in the morning nowadays? I mean, what motivates you?
What gets me up in the morning? Gratitude. Gratitude gets me up in the morning. I've been doing you and I talked about this offline. I've been doing a practice that I learned from Dr. Joe Vitale called Ho'oponopono. And it is an exercise that allows the letting go of trauma and drama and pain and rage.
Okay.
And I have in the background all the time the phrases of "I love you," "I'm sorry," "Please forgive me," "Thank you." I have them in my head. I even have a wristband that says "I love you." And I think it's all about taking 100% responsibility joyously for everything that's going on in my life. And so I'm very grateful. I'm very, very grateful for everything, even the breakdowns. I'm grateful for, because they show me where I am, and I consider myself extraordinarily blessed.
You sent me some recording that you did, so I'm gonna see if I can include it at the end of this video.
That'd be lovely. That comes from a digital recording, 4 original songs that I recorded about 2 years ago with my friend Jack O'Hara, who lives in Staten Island. Jack is so talented that he actually played like 99% of the instruments on the recording.
Wow.
We recorded in his house in Staten Island, and because I love him so much and I was so thrilled with his work, I called the collection the O'Hara Sessions. And it's all on every streaming program. It's also on bandcamp.com. And and the song that, if you want to look, anybody who's watching this wants to look it up online, it's Dave Rudbarg, and the song is called 4 Phrases. Okay. So I'm very proud of it. I'm very, very proud.
What books are you reading nowadays? The reason I ask that is, I mean, most people who read, depending on the book, that makes them the person. So that's why I asked. Yeah,
I haven't started reading it yet, but I just want to give a shout out. I have a friend named D.T. Shanti. I don't know if you can see that.
It's going in and out. But
yeah, it's called Under the Radar: When Truth Hides in Plain Sight. Her name is D.T. Shanti. It just came out, and she's an amazing woman. She heads up a group called the Peace Alliance.
Okay.
And I met her over the last year and a half online. I also have recently been reading books by Father Gregory Boyle, who, if you don't know his name, he is an extraordinary man who works with gangs in Los Angeles, and has formed a company for the former gang members called Homeboy Industries. And it's just wonderful. Father Gregory Boyle, he's amazing and wonderful. And and I've also gone back and I'm rereading Marshall Rosenberg's Nonviolent Communication. which has also been one of the most important books I've ever read, has really opened up a lot for me.
If someone can afford your session, what kind of tips would you give, say, to a woman or man who needs some relationship helps? What like 3 or 4 tips you can give?
Well, um, I think the first thing is it's really important in terms of healing that I one sentence that's been going through my head a lot recently is you can't get over something without going through it. So the idea that you want to somehow stop feeling badly or any of those things, I think basically I would say this: find someone who cares about you to talk to, who it doesn't have any sort of agenda, number one. Number two, find someone that you feel safe talking to, because I think you cannot underestimate the degree to which feeling safe is crucial. And the other thing is that I think people are always looking for opportunities to make a difference. And I know this is the truth for a lot of people that I know, that if you bring something to them, if you need help, ask. There's nothing wrong with asking. And if anybody invalidates you or somehow tries to diminish you, that's their problem. That's not yours. And you are to be commended for your willingness to connect.
That reminds me, I was reading, so I forgot where I read it, that if you're depressed about a situation, the first thing you should do is actually go help somebody.
Absolutely. 1,000%. 1,000%. And it's always funny to me that, when we get to the holiday season, suddenly everybody wants to work in a soup kitchen, or everybody wants to do, it's like, where are you the other 11 and a half the year? Those soup kitchens are still open, radically open. And it's, so yeah, it absolutely, because that's the most healing thing you can do, is be of service. I agree with you 1,000%. Absolutely. And I think in some way that's what you're doing. So I just want to give you, kudos for that.
Thank you. Now, in terms of your business as a coach, do you, I know that you deal with relationships to self, but do you work with someone who's like looking for a companion, or is that's a different
Sure. I mean, absolutely. Now, here's one of the things about that is when you are looking for a companion, one of the things to ask yourself is, number one, what's missing in me that I'm looking for from someone else? That's number one. Number two is, what are the qualities that I'm looking for in a partner that I'm unwilling to compromise on?
Okay.
And I think number three is, what are my non-negotiables? What am I really looking for in a partner? What are the qualities? And what am I unwilling to settle? Where am I unwilling to settle? Because especially this time during the pandemic, I think I consider myself extraordinarily blessed to be single. Like off the charts, because I can only imagine being in quarantine with a partner that you don't really want to be with. That has got to be torturous. So I'm thrilled. I'm good to go, you know.
So, do you have have like what kind of procedure do you have in place when working with a client? I mean, to decide whether you want to work with that person or not.
That's a great question. I think that there's I think it depends on a couple of things. Number one, how well they listen.
Okay.
I think that's a big part of it. If we're having a coaching session and they're debating me on every part, or you know, oh yeah, well yeah, I already. One of my favorite things is when somebody says, "I already do that." Do you really think that what I just said and what you the same thing? Oh, I do that. Oh yeah. No. As long as somebody is really willing to take on that they probably don't know, that ass from an elbow when it comes to relationships, then we have space for growth. Otherwise, are you calling me once a week and paying me money so we can debate? Because I'm not really interested in debating. That's not coaching. So, and I will be, just FYI, do I have regular rates that I charge? Absolutely. If somebody comes to me and says, I'm really, I can't, I lost my job during the pandemic or something like that. Will you work with me? I'll consider it, depending on how committed they are and how much of a difference it's going to make for them. So that's just my take on it.
Okay. Before we conclude, give me one of your best client story that you have.
Let's see. Well, I think that
the reason I ask you so many stories is that I think for in the coaching business, it's more examples of different ways how you work with people. It's really the best way for it to be shown
I couldn't
on
agree
these
with
interviews.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. I think that if I go all the way back to the beginning of my coaching, that there was a woman who was explaining to me at a coaching session why she didn't trust men.
Okay.
She said, "Well, I can't trust men. I learned it when I was a little girl." And I said, "What happened?" She said, "Well, I had this teddy bear that I used to take everywhere with me. And one day my father asked me if I loved my teddy bear more than him. And I said, yes. And the next day the teddy bear disappeared.
Oh.
And so I learned that day that you can't trust men. And I said, just out of curiosity, is your father still alive? She goes, yeah. I said, did you ever ask him what happened to the bear? Goes, no. Might be a good idea. So she called up her parents and she came back in the room where we were having the coaching session and she was bright red. And I said, tell me what happened. And she said, well, I got on the phone with my mother. And I said, Mom, do you remember I had a teddy bear? And it disappeared? And do you know what happened? And my mother said, oh my God. She said, what is it? She goes, well, honey, you used to drag that teddy bear everywhere, all over the floor, and it was filthy. So we thought we'd surprise you and wash it and clean it up. And when we did that, it exploded in the washing machine.
Oh.
And we didn't know how to tell you, so we just hoped you wouldn't notice. 30 years. She'd been walking around with this feeling that she couldn't trust men. So I said to her, just out of curiosity, is there any man in your life who you really like and you think that he could be a potential mate? And she said, well, yeah, there is somebody. So they've been married now for about 15 years and have a couple of kids.
Wow.
And it's really that simple, that when somebody is able to look at their past and go, I was wrong. Like, I made up an interpretation about this and I was wrong. And they're willing to let go of it, miracles occur. So I'd say that's a good place to go.
I am at the end. I'm going to.
Do you feel like I answered? Just out of curiosity, do you feel like I answered your questions? Great. Everybody say I love you.